So you're probably thinking shoulder stretching. Well, we'll do that too. But I was thinking about focusing a little bit today on plank, forearm plank, and side plank. So we'll mix those in. So we'll get some shoulder strengthening, and then we'll do some good deep stretch.
Just getting around the core.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm gonna start laying down. Let's lay down. Let's take 3 open mouth exhales. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Let it go through the mouth. Just let this open mouth exhale settle us into our space. Inhale. Just bringing more awareness to the breath. Big exhale. And just one more like that. Begin to cultivate your Ujjayi breath, closing the lips, inhaling and exhaling now through the nose. A gentle constriction to the back of the throat, making the breath slightly audible. So you should be able to hear your own breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. Just take 5 more breaths here on our back. Complete your exhale, and then start to draw the knees in toward the chest. Just take a loose grip on your knees and draw circles with your knees. One more in this direction, and then draw circles in the opposite direction. And come back to neutral and release the knees to the right, gaze to the left for a spinal twist. 3 breaths here. Come back toward center, release the knees to the left, gaze to the right. And come back towards center. Keep the right knee in, extend the left leg long. Interlace the fingers around the knee, pull the knee off to the right and up toward the shoulder. Draw the elbows in, shoulders and hips flat to the floor, active in the feet. And relax the grip on the knee, bring the knee back towards center, extend the leg up toward the sky. Flex and point the foot. And draw circles with the foot in both directions. And release, right leg flat to the floor. Draw the left knee in, interlace fingers around the knee. Pull the knee to the left and up toward the shoulder, elbows in. Shoulders and hips flat to the floor, and then get active in the feet, flexing all 10 toes back toward both knees. One more breath here. Bring that leg back towards center, extend the leg up, walk the hands up the back of the leg, and then flex and point the left foot. And draw circles in both directions. And go ahead and bend both legs, plant the feet flat to the floor, hands alongside the body, and on the inhale, lift the hips up into bridge pose. As you exhale, 1 vertebra at a time, come all the way down, just bring the hips to hover, and we'll do 2 more of those, rolling up on the inhale, and rolling down on the exhale. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. We're gonna take the hip stretch reclined pigeon, so cross your right ankle over your left knee, lift your left foot off the floor, interlace hands either around the back of the thigh or the shin, draw the left knee in and press the right knee open, and keep the toes of both feet flexed back toward both knees. Release the left foot down onto the floor and switch it out. Right foot to the floor, left foot up and over the right knee. Lift your right foot off the floor, hands around the back of the thigh or the shin. Draw the right knee in and press the left knee open. Flex all 10 toes back toward both knees. And release. Draw both knees in, a couple rocks on the spine, and then we'll make our way to a tabletop position. Stack the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. Spread the fingers wide, 3 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, release the belly. Lift through the crown of the head and the tailbone. Exhale, round. Lift and separate the shoulder blades. Take the gaze toward navel center. Inhale to cow, and then exhale, round into cat. At your own pace, we'll do one more round. Come back to tabletop position. We'll go right away into our first plank. So we're going to take modified side plank. Keep your right hand where it is. Kick your right foot out to the side, and then extend the left leg back toward the back of the mat. Lift that left arm up. Hold here for another full breath. Now extend that left arm forward toward the front of the mat. Getting a nice side stretch here. Lift your left leg off the floor, press through the ball of the foot. And then from here, like you're doing cat pose, just round and bring elbow to knee. And then extend, elbow to knee. And then we'll do one more, extend, elbow to knee, extend and release. And we'll switch sides. So kick that left foot to the left, extend your right leg to the back of the mat. Lift that right arm up. Hold here. Lift up out of the shoulder, press into the hand. And then extend that right arm forward toward the front of the mat. From here, lift that right leg off the mat and then press through the ball of the foot. So you have one long line from your fingertips all the way to your foot. And then like you're doing cat pose, round. Elbow to knee, extend with the breath. And last one, elbow to knee, extend and release, tabletop position. Let's take one more hip stretch. Bring the knees wide for extended child's pose, hips to heels. Release the forehead down onto the mat. Two more breaths here. And tuck the toes under, lift the hips high, come into downward facing dog. Gazing back toward the toes, neck is nice and long. And one more full breath, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Walk the feet to meet the hands at the front of the mat. Come into ragdoll. And drape the torso over the legs. Take opposite hand toward opposite elbow. Just working here on elongating through the back side of the body. So let the head be very heavy. One more breath, inhale, exhale. Release the hands down onto the mat and heel toe the feet to touch. Let's go ahead and round up to a stand, so stacking one vertebra at a time. Our head is going to come last. Good, roll those shoulders down away from the ears. We're gonna take a neck stretch here. So just extend your left arm down toward the floor and take your right hand to the top of the head. And then just very gently guide your right shoulder to your right ear to your right shoulder. And then really actively press through the left fingertips. So you should feel a nice long extension down the left side of your neck, all the way down towards your fingertips, and then come back towards center and we'll switch sides. So left hand on top of the head, guide that left ear to the left shoulder, and then really actively reach through the right fingertips. Just elongating the stretch. And then come back towards center. And then you can use the hands if you'd like, bringing the chin toward the chest, or if you'd like, you can have the hands down. But reach that chin a little bit forward and see if you can get it down toward your chest. So the stretch should extend all the way to your upper back. And then come back to center and release mountain pose. Good. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale back to tall mountain. And then exhale, we'll come down with a flat back. So hinging at the hips, reaching through the fingertips, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Take one more full breath. Inhale. Exhale, just focusing more here on our hamstring length. Inhale, monkey pose, come up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Two more of those. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. At your own pace with your breath. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. We're going to step back to plank pose. Our first plank of the day, we're actually going to hold it though. So you can always take the knees onto the mat as a modification, but have the feet in line with the hips, have the shoulders right over the wrists. And try and create one long line from your head back through your heels. So try to avoid dropping the hips or lifting them too high. Just one more breath here. And as we exhale, come all the way down onto the mat. Okay, we're gonna take a shoulder stretch. So bring that right arm to the right, left hand stays where it is, roll to the right. Stamp the left foot on the floor, release right ear to the floor. You can play with this stretch by moving the hand up or down, or forward toward the front of your mat or toward the back of your mat. You'll feel a different stretch in your shoulder. So make it your own. And then come back towards center. Extend the left arm to the left, bring right hand underneath right shoulder and roll to the left. Stamp that foot on the floor. And feel free to walk that hand around, the left hand, to experiment with the stretch in the shoulder. And come back towards center. Take both hands underneath the shoulders. Let's peel up to cobra pose. Inhale. And exhale, release. Tuck the toes under, come up to tabletop or plank, press it up, and then back to downward facing dog. One more breath here in downward facing dog. Look toward your hands, step or float forward. Forward fold. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair, sit low, arms high. Exhale here. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to heart, stand up. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, hands to heart, stand. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Tall mountain inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to plank on the inhale. This time on the exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Upward facing dog on the inhale. And back to downward facing dog on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, take the right leg high. Exhale, step through, a little bit of a shorter stance. We're coming into warrior one, so plant that back heel on the floor. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Hold here, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step back plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. So do that on the other side. So inhale the left leg high, step through. Plant your back heel on the floor. Inhale, come up to warrior one. Exhale here. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step back plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. Full breath, inhale. Exhale. Look toward the front of the mat. Step or float forward. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, chair. Exhale, hands to the through the heart to the earth, forward fold. Inhale, flat back monkey. Exhale, chaturanga. You can step or float back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're just going to do one more time through. So inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step through. Warrior one, inhale. And this time, exhale right to chaturanga. So take those hands to the earth, step back and lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're always welcome to take that extra breath if you'd like. Inhale, left leg high, step through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands to the earth, step back, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And one more breath in downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, look toward your hands, step or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back for chest expansion. Interlace your fingers, press your fists back. Really open through the chest and the shoulders. Keep that weight back in the heels. Inhale here. And then exhale, forward fold with chest expansion. So start to straighten the legs, forward fold over the legs, and press the fists up and over the back of the head, pressing the palms of the hands towards one another. A nice deep shoulder stretch here. Last full breath. And release the hands to the earth on the exhale. Inhale, monkey. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna play a little bit with planks and then we'll take a break. So on your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. Hold here. We're gonna roll to side plank on the right. So keep your right hand where it is and then lift that left arm up toward the sky. So lift up out of the shoulder, keep the shoulder over the wrist. Try to avoid locking out the elbow. I have a tendency to do that. And you can see what happens when you're sitting in the joint versus using your muscles. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna roll to forearm side plank on the left. So you're gonna bring that left forearm to the floor and lift your right arm up. Good, kind of a fun, tricky transition there. So modifications, again, always are to take that right foot to the floor, or your left knee. In regular side plank, you can bring your knee to the floor. And then from here, we're gonna come to forearm plank. So bring both forearms to the floor. Good, have those wrists right in line with the elbows. That modification is fine as well. You can always take your hands and interlace them. The shoulders are feeling tight. Good. And of course, modification here is knees on the floor. Good. Now from here, we're gonna come into Sphinx. So just take those hips to the floor. Lift through the crown of the head. Good. Hold here using the muscles in your back to lift your head. And then from here, we'll just relax the shoulders by the ears and bring the chin toward the chest. You can even rock your head side to side if that feels good, which in my opinion it does. Love this stretch. All right, come back to Sphinx and then tuck the toes under, return to forearm plank. Okay, just working the shoulders here and then return to plank. So one hand at a time, press it back up and downward facing dog. And this is your break, downward facing dog. So take a couple breaths here and we'll do the other side. Complete your exhale. And come forward to plank. We're gonna make our way to side plank on the left. So left shoulder is gonna come right over that left wrist. Extend your right arm straight up. So two arms are in one line. Lift those hips and avoid locking out your left elbow. You don't wanna sit in the joint, so use your muscles to lift you. Take one more breath here. We're gonna come to forearm plank on the right. So go ahead and transition onto your right forearm and lift your left arm. You can look up toward the fingertips or you can look down at your mat. Try your best to keep your right wrist in line with your right elbow and your right shoulder right over your right elbow. And forearm plank. Hold here for another breath. We're gonna return to plank, opposite hand first that you did last time. So one hand at a time, back to plank and back to downward facing dog. Two more breaths. Good, come all the way down. All right, we earned a little break after that. That's what happens when you ask for shoulders. All right, so let's do some core. Go ahead and come down onto your back. We're just gonna start off with some very basic but slow bicycle sit-ups. So take your hands and release them behind your head. And go ahead and extend your left leg long and bring your right knee in, and then bring your left elbow to your right knee. You can lift your left foot off the floor to hover. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, and then switch it out. Extend your right leg long, right elbow to left knee. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, and then just go ahead and go back and forth. Right, left. You can go at your own pace. And this is 10 and 9, 8. And 3 and 2, 1. Take it on both sides and release. Couple breaths here. All right. Bring your hands to the mat. You can just sit on your thumbs if you want. Bring both legs straight up overhead. And then slowly with control, lower your feet just to hover. And then lift them back up. Try not to fling your legs. We're just doing 5 of these, so that's about 3 for me. Complete your last one, and then hug knees into the chest. All right, we're gonna play a little bit with some rolling boats. So hug those knees in and start to roll back. Come up, find boat pose. Good, and roll back. Boat. Good, nice control. Back. Just gonna do 2 more. Find that stability. Okay, last one. Come up and hold boat. Good. And then from here, we're gonna come into stretch pose. Extend and lift. Extend and lift. We're just doing 5 of these, so just 2 more. Extend, lift. Last one, lift. Now, cross your ankles, lift your hips. Sit, cross your ankles in the opposite direction, lift. Good, and breathe. Excellent. Like, what's happening?
Nothing else.
Go gadget arms. Let's just stretch our core with a high cobra. So come forward. Bring those shoulders right over the wrists. Walk the feet back and release the hips. Ah, whew. That feels good. Okay, lower down onto your belly. We're gonna do spine strengthener with chest expansion to work and stretch the shoulders. So zip up your legs, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, your hands, and then lift your chest off the floor. So as much as you can, actively bring your hands closer to your feet. And now option to lift the feet off the floor. Last breath. Release right ear to the mat. Rest. Chin back to the mat. We'll take Urdhva Dhanurasana, floor bow. So bend both legs. Take the feet from the outside. This is a great chest opener and shoulder stretch as well as spine strengthener. So zip up your legs and then start to kick your feet into your hands. Good, and then the harder that you kick, the bigger the stretch is gonna be through the front. Really kick those feet, open through your shoulders, open through your chest. Another breath. Lower down, opposite ear to the mat. And make your way back to downward facing dog. Continue on with our standing series of postures. Take 2 more breaths. And inhale, take your right leg high for 3-legged dog. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, come up to crescent lunge. And then right away, we're gonna come into warrior 2. So plant that back heel, open through the arms, sink into that leg. Get those shoulders right over the hips. Good. All right, we're gonna find archer's arms here. So go ahead and bring left hand to meet right. Make fists with your thumbs on top of your fists. Okay, so get real active in your arms and find that resistance. We're gonna pull back and open, and then extend and close. Good. And again, and just last time. And this time, open it back up to warrior 2, and then take it into cow face arms. So right arm up and over, left arm behind. Option to take that left hand onto the right elbow if you'd prefer. Good, looks really good. Stay low in that leg. Take 1 more breath. Come back to warrior 2, open it up. And then rotate your palms to face the sky. And continue to rotate as much as possible. And then back to face the floor. And to face the sky and the floor. Last time, open it up. And warrior 2. Good. 5-pointed star. And take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Open through the chest, lift. Good. And then heels behind the toes. Hinge at the hips, come forward. Last breath here. And then inhale, halfway lift. So come up to a halfway lift, flat back, release the hands down onto the floor. We're gonna walk the hands toward the front of the mat. So we're in low lunge. Good. From here, keep your left hand where it is and return to side plank. Right foot back, right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, forearm plank on the right, forearm side plank on the right. Inhale. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale. Exhale, dolphin pose. So hips high, walk your feet in. Try to keep as much tension out of the neck as possible. So looking back toward the toes. Shoulders are really active here. All right, and from here, we're gonna look forward toward our hands and we're gonna come into Chaturanga. So a fun, kind of tricky transition. Gonna get a little bit of momentum, come forward, lower down. So come forward onto your hands. So it looks like this. From Dolphin to Chaturanga. Does that make sense? Try it again. It's hard. It's supposed to be. Good. Awesome. So make your way back to downward facing dog. We'll take those poses on the other side. Complete the exhale here. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Find your alignment, proper alignment in the legs in warrior 2. Looks really nice. And then come into archer's arms. So hands forward, thumbs on top. Okay, pull it back, open it up, close it off. And again. Find that resistance in your arms, so really actively pull. Open up to warrior two. Good. Cow face on the other side. Left arm up and over, right arm behind. Or right hand on left elbow. Keep your head in line with the spine, shoulders stay open, stay low in that front leg. Couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Start to rotate the palms towards the sky, toward the floor. And again. Those pinkies as high as you can. And again. Good. 5-pointed star. And come into Prasarita, so take your heels behind your toes, extend your arms off to the side, hinge at the hips, come down with a long spine. And another great shoulder stretch here. We're gonna come into wide-legged down dog, so walk your hands forward and then press your hips back. So you have a little extra room here to get your chest closer to the floor, gazing back between the legs. And walk your hands back. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Woo! Take your right hand, or keep your right hand on the mat, and then step your left foot back. Inhale, side plank. And then take forearm side plank. Left forearm to the floor. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Dolphin. So walk your feet in, hips high. Inhale. Now exhale, Chaturanga. So look forward, bend into your arms, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Inhale, take the right leg high. I'm gonna take a little balance posture here. So exhale, low lunge. We'll flow our way there. So inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon. Step onto your right foot. Okay, so you have the choice here of taking this into a chest and shoulder opening by taking sugarcane pose if you'd like. So for sugarcane pose, bend that left leg, take the foot from the outside. You're going to start to kick your foot into your hand and extend it back behind you. As opposed to up, try and extend it back. And just like we did in floor bow, use the kick of your leg to really open your shoulder and your chest. And take one more full breath here. And extend back into half moon pose. And lower to low lunge. Step back plank. Vinyasa if you want. We'll meet back at downward facing dog. You can skip the Chaturanga if you prefer. And then we'll balance on the other side. Inhale, take the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, half moon pose. Step onto your left foot. Stack your hips and shoulders. And then option here for sugarcane pose. If you'd like, bend your right leg. Take your foot from the outside. And then start to kick that foot into the hand and extend it back behind. So let the kick of that leg open your shoulder and your chest. Return to half moon pose if you're in sugarcane. Release to low lunge. Vinyasa if you'd like. And come down onto the floor. We're going to take full cow face pose now. So we'll get that shoulder stretch again. We're going to add the hips to it now. So let's take the left leg on bottom and then stack the right leg on top. So again, option to sit on a block here if you'd like, or if you can't stack the knees, you can always take the foot flat to the floor. You just want to feel a stretch in your hips. If you're really open in the hips and it doesn't feel like a big stretch sitting here, you can always start to extend your legs, working your shins more parallel toward the front of the mat. It'll change the stretch. It'll deepen the stretch a little bit. Right arm up and over, left arm behind for cow face arms. You can use a strap for the bind, or you can take your hand on top of the elbow and then work toward keeping the head in line with the spine. So don't sacrifice the length of your spine or your posture for the bind. Hold here for a couple more breaths. You're welcome also if the hips are open to forward fold, if you want to increase into the stretch that way. Release your arms, and then just draw that left arm across the center of the body. You can hold on to the back of the arm or the elbow. Draw the shoulder down away from the ear, and really reach through the fingertips. Okay, and we'll take cow face on the other side now. So switch out the legs, right leg on bottom, left leg on top. Feel both sitting bones on the floor or the block. Feet can come back toward the hips, or you can extend your shins more parallel to the front of the mat. It just depends on your hip flexibility. So pick the option which works for you, where you do feel a stretch. Left arm up and over for the arms, right arm behind. Either bind with a strap, you can bind with your hands, or you can take your right hand onto your left elbow. Release the arms and draw that left arm across the body. Right hand to the back of the arm or the elbow. Draw that left shoulder down and then reach through the fingertips. Wait, is that the opposite one? Is that the right one?
Right one for me.
Okay. Okay, release. So go ahead and come back into down dog. Don't worry, we're done with our standing postures. We're just gonna move into half pigeon, okay? So from down dog, you can lift your right leg up and then bring your right knee toward your right wrist. All right, and we're gonna take pigeon into an optional twist today. So you can take your right hand on the floor. You're gonna slide your left arm like you're doing thread the needle. Come onto your left ear, and then option to bind with the right hand toward the right toe. So you get an, again, optional shoulder opener with this if you want. Otherwise, if you just love half pigeon and want to hang out in the forehead down version, go for it. Release from the bind and the twist, and then come back up onto your hands. Good. Back to down dog. And we'll take that on the other side. So bring your left knee toward your left wrist. Half pigeon on the other side. We're just going to take that left hand onto the floor and slide your right arm behind it like you're doing thread the needle. Come onto your right shoulder and your right ear, and then left hand binds with the left toe. Maybe. Okay, these are all just options for you. You can take what works for you. If you can't reach your toe, no worries. You want to still open the shoulder, just take a half bind. If you're bound, release the bind, come back up onto your hands. Good. And then step back to down dog. And come to a seat, or actually just all the way down onto your back. So we're going to finish up with 2 back bends. We're going to take bridge with chest expansion. Chest expansion is optional, but just focusing again on the shoulders and the chest opening. And then second set, you can do the same thing, or you can take wheel. Okay, wheel's a nice heart opener, really takes a lot of shoulder strength and flexibility. So lay down, take bridge first, heels toward hips, put the weight into your heels and then lift your hips off the floor. If you want to take chest expansion, just slide those hands underneath your hips, interlace the hands, and then roll onto the outer edges of your shoulders, lifting the hips higher. Keep the knees in line with the hips and your heels right underneath your knees. Last inhale, and let the exhale release you back down onto the floor. Second set, take bridge or wheel. I'm going to talk you through wheel. Flip your hands. Fingers are going to point toward your heels. They're going to be in line with your ears. Elbows draw in. Lift your hips off the floor. Gently press up onto the crown of your head. Keep your elbows in line with your wrists, and then start to press all the way up to wheel. Good. Take another breath. Slowly lower down. Good, very nice. All right, let's take spinal twist before Shavasana. So any version that you like, if you want to draw your knees into the chest, release them to the right, or you can just stagger your legs, release your knees to the right. Just gaze in the opposite direction of the knees. Make your way back through center and release your knees to the left, gaze to the right. Back through center, hug the knees into the chest. Okay, so if you'd like to take an inversion, just rock your way up into shoulder stand. Bringing hands to the hips, extending the legs up toward the sky. We're not going to take a long hold in shoulder stand today. I'm just going to give you the option of plow pose with chest expansion, just one more shoulder opener. So if you can get your feet to the floor, and only if you can get your feet to the floor, you can take your hands, interlace your fingers, extend your arms straight, roll up onto your shoulders.
If your feet are not touching the floor, please continue to hold your hips with your hands. And then return to shoulder stand and lower back down onto the floor. If you'd like to take happy baby on your way, you can just separate your feet and your knees and just rock side to side on your spine. So we're working into our last posture, Shavasana. Anything else you'd like to take before Shavasana, feel free to do that. Deepen into the breath. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Roll out the wrists and the ankles. Then work into a full body stretch, reaching the arms up overhead, stretching from fingertips to toes. Making your way onto your side when you're ready. And just pause here to acknowledge your practice. Set an intention for your day. And then come all the way up to a seat. And bring hands to your hearts. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.